I just can't stop myself from buying books. I can't say that I'm really ashamed of myself, though. Really.
Hey booktubers, welcome to the long haul of about 8 books or so. So we've got to get started. It's really beautiful out today. There's my parrot screeching again. I filmed the short version on Saturday. This is Sunday, and it's like about 70 degrees outside. Finally getting sunny, and it's April already. So, but in any case, it's only supposed to be nice for like one day. I'm going to go over this one first, A Red Herring Without Mustard by Alan Bradley. And this is third in the book of the Flavia de Luce novels. This is the first one, Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie, and the second one is the Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag. I have not read these yet, but I wanted to get them all. And so there they are. One's paperback. This was like the first one that came out. The other two, this one is a regular hardback, and this one is like what they call a turtleback. So 3 different kinds of books there. And let's see. The reason why I'm not going to read about this is because it is the third in a series, and I'm not really sure that that they are like a continuous story. So, but this is about the 11-year-old. They look very, very, very humorous. It's the 11-year-old detective, yeah, I can't wait to start reading those. Next one up is The Savage Garden by Mark Mills, and it is a Duckle Edge, which is really, I love those. A lot of people do, I know. This was a used book from Amazon Marketplace, I believe. And let's see if the cover's anything. Oh, the cover's kind of neat. It has green and purple. The cover's really neat. I like that. Let's see now. Of course, I'm not going to get this back together. Synopsis. Okay. Adam Strickland, a somewhat aimless young scholar at Cambridge University, is called to his professor's office one afternoon and assigned a special summer project to write a scholarly monograph about the famous Dolci Garden in Tuscany. Dedicated to the memory of a 15th century nobleman's young wife, the garden is a mysterious world of statues, grottos, meandering rills, and classical inscriptions. But Adam comes to suspect that something sinister lies buried in the garden's strange iconography. What if Lord Dolci's wife was murdered, and her memorial garden is filled with pointers to both the method and the motive of the crime? As the odd history unfolds, Adam finds himself drawn into a parallel intrigue through his evolving relationship with the lady of the house, the ailing 70-something Signora Dolci. He hears stories of yet another violent death in the family, this one much more recent. The Signora's eldest son was shot by Nazi officers on the 3rd floor of the villa, and her husband, now dead, insisted that the area be sealed and preserved forever. Like the garden, the 3rd floor rooms are frozen in time. As Adam delves into his subject, he begins to suspect that his seemingly innocent history project might be a setup. Is he really just the naive student stumbling upon clues, or is he being used to discover the true meaning of the villa's murderous past? The Savage Garden by Mark Mills. Adult book, of course. Up next, The Good Thief by Hannah Tinty. As I stated in the short video, this one was on my wish list for quite a while. So, this was a used book also. Yeah, like, a little bit of whatever, but that's okay. I try to get the hardcover when I can, y'all know that. Unless I like the cover on the soft cover better, but this one's great. Okay, richly imagined, gothically spooky, and replete with the ingenious storytelling ability of a born novelist, The Good Thief introduces one of the most appealing young heroes in contemporary fiction and ratifies Hannah Tinty as one of our most exciting new talents. 12-year-old Ren is missing his left hand. How it was lost is a mystery that Ren has been trying to solve for his entire life, as well as who his parents are and why he was abandoned as an infant at St. Anthony's Orphanage for Boys. He longs for a family to call his own and is terrified of the day he will be sent alone into the world. But when a young man named Benjamin Nab appears, claiming to be Ren's long-lost brother, and his convincing tale of how Ren lost his hand and his parents, persuades the monks at the orphanage to release the boy and to give Ren some hope. But is Benjamin really who he says he is? Journeying through a New England of whaling towns and meadowed farmlands, Ren is introduced to a vibrant world of hard-scrabble adventure filled with outrageous scam artists, grave robbers, and petty thieves. If he stays, Ren becomes one of them. If he goes, he's lost once again. As Ren begins to find clues to his hidden parentage, he comes to suspect that Benjamin not only holds the key to his future, but to his past as well. So, The Good Thief, a novel by Hannah Tinty. Yes, The Ballet of Horses by Jean Auel. And like I said before in my other video, I have all the books now. This one is the second in the series of 6 of Earth's Children, the first one being Clan of the Cave Bear. And this has the beautiful wraparound landscape cover on it. And I'm not going to read this because it is the second book in the series. And of course I don't want to give away any spoilers. The inside of the book has the map. I believe all of them are like that. Here is the hardcover here. It does have the author's signature. And the end papers have the map of the Earth's Children, or the landscape. So there is that. And of course this is Europe, as you can see. Because this story is set in, I believe, like the prehistoric, there's like Spain and parts of Russia, and I believe this is all ice, supposed to be ice, like the ice cap, before it started melting away. So, yeah, pretty cool. Next up, yep, this is for, I bought this because Richard at Devour Book Reviews just loves John Bellairs, so I told him that I would try to read some of it. So I found this anthology of 3 stories: The House with a Clock in Its Walls, The Figure in the Shadows, The Letter, The Witch, and The Ring. I believe this is aimed at middle school. It's pretty typical hardcover font, and the book without the cover isn't anything too terribly special, but I like that orange. And let me read a little bit about the 3 stories. The House with the Clock on Its Walls opens with Louis Barneveld, a newly orphaned 10-year-old, coming to live with his Uncle Jonathan. Little does Louis know that Uncle Jonathan and his next-door neighbor, Mrs. Zimmerman, are witches. Then Louis finds that he himself has magical powers, and soon he is thrust into a supernatural battle between good and evil. Then we move on to the next story. Grandpa Barneveld's old coin is at the heart of the figure in the shadows. Louis thinks the coin is an amulet, but when he starts to wear it around his neck, bizarre things begin to happen, and not all of them good. Third story, The Letter, The Witch, and The Ring shifts the focus to angry 13-year-old Rose Rita. Rose isn't allowed to go to summer camp like Louis, and she's mad. But Mrs. Zimmerman offers Rita an adventure of her own, and when a magical ring disappears, Rita gets more of an adventure than she bargained for. So, yeah, it goes on, it talks about the author who passed away in 1991. So, yeah, these look really, really good. So, this is the best of John Bellairs. I know he has many, many more stories that Richard has talked about, but these are 3 that were in that anthology in hardcover, of course. So I want to try those. This was a book, Guide to State Parks of the United States. I won't talk a whole lot about it. I went over a little bit in the short video. But it is basically just a guidebook to all of the, or many state parks in the USA. And I do love to go camping when I get to. I have a small pop-up trailer. And when I retire, that's one thing I plan on doing. Of course, I won't be retiring for a while yet, but that is one thing I plan on doing, is just traveling into. I'm hoping these state parks are still around. I'll be eligible to retire like in 13 years, but with budgets the way they are now, who the world knows whether state parks will even exist. It's kind of a shame that, yeah, the USA is out of money. And all the world hates it, and we're out of money. There's a cat. So, Guide to State Parks, National Geographic. It's a brand new book that just came out in March of 2011. So it's current, at least for now. Here is Nicholas Sparks, the lucky one. And I really like this cover. Picture of Nick on the back. Haven't tried any of Nicholas Sparks, so I'm trying to get some authors that I've never tried. I have several that I need to read that I keep saying, I want to try this person, I want to try that person, but, you know, can only read so much at a time right now. So, anyway, the lucky one. Let's see. When a U.S. Marine, Logan, Thibault, finds a photograph of a smiling young woman half buried in the dirt during his third tour of duty in Iraq, his first instinct is to toss it aside. Instead, he brings it back to the base for someone to claim, but when no one does, he finds himself always carrying the photo in his pocket. Soon, Thibault experiences a sudden streak of luck, winning poker games and even surviving deadly combat that kills two of his closest buddies. Only his friend Victor seems to have an explanation for his good fortune: the photograph, his lucky charm. Back in Colorado, Thibault can't seem to get the photo and the woman in it out of his mind. Believing that she somehow holds the key to his destiny, he sets out on a journey across the country to find her, never expecting the strong but vulnerable woman he encounters in Hampton, North Carolina, Elizabeth, a divorced mother with a young son, to be the girl he's been waiting his whole life to meet. Caught off guard by the attraction he feels, Thibault keeps the story of the photo and his luck a secret. As he and Elizabeth embark on a passionate and all-consuming love affair, the secret he is keeping will soon threaten to tear them apart, destroying not only their love, but also their lives. So, yeah, sounds like a nice, kind of dramatic, romantic-y kind of a story. So, that'll be my venture into Nicholas Sparks. Here's another author I want to read more of. I haven't read any. Maeve Binchy. She's been publishing books for quite a while now. This one is Minding Frankie. It looks really, really neat. It is also the Decollage. And I wanted to show the cover I really, really like. I love this kind of artwork. So you can see that there. And there's Maeve. And then the book I love those colors too. And the end papers are a copy of the jacket. Isn't that really neat? And I believe the back, yes, the back is also the same. So I love it when they put those touches in a book. And I'll go ahead and read the synopsis on this one. Maeve Binchy is back with a tale of joy, heartbreak, and hope about a motherless girl collectively raised by a close-knit Dublin community. I think it's Noel. When Noel learns that his terminally ill former flame, it would have to be Noel. When Noel learns that his terminally ill former flame is pregnant with his child, he agrees to take guardianship of the baby girl once she's born. But as a single father battling demons of his own, Noel can't do it alone. Fortunately, he has a competent, caring network of friends, family, and neighbors. Lisa, his unlucky-in-love classmate who moves in with him to help him care for little Frankie around the clock. His American cousin Emily, always there with a pep talk. The newly retired Dr. Hat with more time on his hands than he knows what to do with. Dr. Declan and Fiona and their baby son, Frankie's first friend, and many eager babysitters, including old friends Signora and Aiden, and Frankie's doting grandparents, Josie and Charles. But not everyone is pleased with the unconventional arrangement, especially a nosy social worker, Mariah, who was convinced that Frankie would be better off in a foster home. Now it's up to Noel to persuade her that everyone in town has something special to offer when it comes to minding Frankie. So it sounds kind of humorous. It just sounds really good. So she lives, Maeve Binchy lives in Dalkey, Ireland. Cool. And boy, she looks really Irish too. So there we go. Whatever Irish looks like, I think that's what it looks like. So there you go. That's all I have for you. I wanted to show you in the John Bellairs book, I forgot, it is illustrated, and I don't think I showed. Maybe I did show. You know, who forgot? That was like 10 minutes ago already. I might have shown you some. But it's illustrated throughout this book, and I love, love, love things like that. Okay, here's the Easton Press book. This is Perrault. I wish I knew how to pronounce that. I should have looked it up. Perrault's Fairy's Tale. It is French, so probably the T is silent. I don't know. Fairy Tales, and illustrated by Gustave Doré. Okay, and that is what is really neat about this book. Of course, the fairy tales are really neat. This is a Famous Editions collection set, so it comes with an insert. Tells you about the book and about the book, how it's made, and about the fairy tales and how they came about to be also. And here is the very first page. This is the Little Red Riding Hood. Yes, Gustave Doré, an illustrator in the 1800s. Very, very famous. He illustrated many, many books back then. I did haul a book of his a few hauls ago that I got. It's called Doors London, and it is just filled with his illustrations from different books. Like I think he did some illustrations of Charles Dickens books and things like that. I was trying to find the there it is. The Sleeping Beauty in the Wood. These are the fairy tales. Little Red Riding Hood, Bluebeard, The Master Cat, or Puss in Boots, The Fairies, Cinderella, or The Little Glass Slipper, Ricky of the Tuft, and Little Tom Thumb. So very, very famous tales. They came from Perrault's fairy tales. There's another full-page illustration. And there was that's Puss in Boots there. You can see him right there in the middle. And let's see, I wanted to show you, I was reading the Red Riding Hood, and there was a really neat picture of when the wolf, just before he ate the grandmother, of course, and caught her in her bed. So yeah, that was it there. This was a really cool, very, very detailed, if I can get it to the right place here, very detailed picture. You can see the cat going underneath the bed there, Grandma's glasses falling off the bed, and the wolf just about to pounce and say goodbye to Grandma, I guess. So, yeah, not all the fairy tales were exactly politically correct, and they scared children, huh? So they were kind of scary and everything. But anyway, there's my haul. For now, I have another whole set of books to haul, probably next week, and I have several coming in from Amazon Marketplace, I think. And so, yeah, it just keeps going on and going on. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Bye.